Okay, I'm going to talk today a little bit about bench pressing with bands or band tension. And what I want to show you here is, I guess I'll show you what I'm doing and then I'll explain why. So you can see these bands that are attached to the bar and then also to some pins at the bottom of the bench. And I go ahead and double them up, which means I attach it to the bottom, one end of it to the bottom of the bench, and then over the bar and then back down at the bottom of the bench again. So it's already stretched pretty tight even at the beginning of the lift. And then of course as you extend it towards the top, it stretches considerably more, the longer it stretches, the more resistance you get. I go ahead and note on my video that that's about 200 pounds of band tension. And so we measured that, and basically what that means is, let's say we put a 45-pound bar and I have just the bands on it. When I'm fully locked out at full extension, it's 245 pounds is what it feels like. It's 200 pounds plus the 45-pound bar. Now, obviously, when I lower the weight down to my chest, the resistance is significantly less, and so it's not the full 200 pounds. That's only at absolute lockout is where you hit that 200 pounds. And then I add, of course, add whatever the weight on the bar is so everybody can kind of see. In addition to that, you'll see that I have a band across my chest, this black band across my chest. Those are called bench bands and different from the bands for tension. That's why I think there's a lot of confusion with people sometimes. And they do the opposite thing. They help give you more strength at the bottom, kind of like a bench shirt does. They give you more strength at the bottom of the lift and dissipate as you get near the top of the lift. So there's multiple versions. The Slingshot makes one, Bench Daddy makes one, Pharrell F8 makes one, and that's what this one is, the Widowmaker they call it. And all of these help you lift more weight as well. Now, many have said, well, why do you do this? Why do you do these two different things? I guess I'll start by saying normally I bench press equipped with a bench press shirt when I compete. And what happens is when you do that, it puts a tremendous amount of stress on your body, because while a bench press shirt does help you lift more weight, it also it's not as simple as just put the shirt on and lift more weight. You have to be able to hold and control whatever amount of weight you're going to do at the top and keep it in position and force it through the range of motion with the shirt on. It's not a passive exercise. It's a very physical exercise, bringing the bar down, touching it in the right place, and then controlling the range of motion and the groove all the way to the top and locking it out and accepting additional weight at the farther it goes up, significantly more weight. And so it takes a tremendous amount of skill, but also a lot of strength, and it really taxes your central nervous system. And it's a whole body lift. When I finish bench pressing with a shirt, my entire body is aching for not just that day, but usually the day after. And sometimes the central nervous system overload is pretty intense. So if you do that too many days, too many workouts in a row, you're going to find that you're overtraining and you're losing strength. So we need to break it up a little bit. And this bench press with bands workout allows me to still train the top of my lift, which I need to in order to handle the weights that I'm going to be using within my shirt, but in a little bit more fun way with not quite as much stress on the body. So others will say, well, why do you use the bench band across your chest? Wouldn't you get the same results by just bench pressing as much as you can, lock out with the bands? And the answer is no. Um, Regardless of I would still fail with less weight. Let's say I put 300 pounds on the bar with the 200 pounds of bands and I fail, and they'd say, well, then that means your lockout strength is only 500. Maybe, but what I do know is that when I am able to use the bench band across my chest, I can handle enough weight so that the top end weights with the bands are similar to what I'm going to be using, or if not quite as much with a bench press shirt. And it seems to have a direct carryover into when I'm competing. And so that's why I do it this way. So I'll go ahead and show you a little bit about what that looks like. This first one obviously it's a 55-pound bar in this case, so that's why with the 4 plates on each side, it's 415 instead of 405, plus the 200 pounds of band tension. I lower it down, press it up, and this is kind of a warm-up. That felt pretty good, so I bump up another 45-pound plate on each side. That makes it 505 plus 200. And same thing, I lower it down, and it felt pretty good, so I decided to bump it up to 555. Now, in this case, I brought in a couple extra spotters. I'll stop and kind of talk about that a little bit. When you bench press equipped or go real heavy like this, where the bands are pulling against you in a way that's different than just weight by itself, those extra spotters really help get the bar into the right position when to where you're strongest and you can handle that weight. And of course, if there's a mistake, if it slips, if you drop, they can get it off you real quick so you don't get hurt. And that's a real risk when you're bench pressing really heavy. And anytime you're benching heavy, but especially if it's a weight that the middle spotter is going to have difficulty controlling by himself. And that's difficult and a challenge, all of its own, because all three people have to be coordinated and lifting the same amount in the same time in the same direction. And so luckily all three of these guys have worked together with me more than once, several times. And so they have the system down to make it nice and smooth for me. So on this last one, we'll go 555 pounds. I lower it under control, and it came off my chest pretty good, so I decided to go for another one, which was a big mistake, obviously. And that the margin between um, lifting a weight easily and failing it completely is very thin when you're lifting equipped or with this kind of extra tension and stuff like that. So hopefully that explains why I lift this way and what I do. I know it's a unique thing and I get tons of comments about it. Some are productive or real questions as to why we do it, and that's what I'm explaining now. The ones that I always get about you're fat, you're cheating, whatever, I can't do much about that. I probably will have another video soon where I talk about bench press shirts and equipped lifting and try to explain um, why it's not cheating. But I won't get into that here. I'll save something for that next video. If there's anything else you want to learn about or have additional questions about this particular workout or want other things you want to see, feel free to leave something in the comments and I'll check it out and see if I can produce something for you. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.